So here we are. We're in our 50s, we're in our 60s, we're in our 70s. And one day we wake up and we kind of realize we don't really have friends. We have spent our whole lives taking care of our kids and working, and now we've kind of come to a point where our kids are gone and work is slowing down. We might even be thinking about retiring, and kind of hits us. We're a little lonely. So let's do something about that. I recently watched a documentary on Netflix. It was called Live to 100 Secrets of the Blue Zone. So what he did was he went around to these different blue zones around the world where people are consistently living well over 100. And they're not just existing, they're living full, good lives right to the end. And that is my mission statement. I have it right up there. Live longer, not die longer. I watched my parents live pretty old, but was it living? It was more existing. It was not a good existence either. And now I'm starting to watch my in-laws going through the same thing. What are we doing wrong as a society that we aren't living healthy lives? Well, this documentary was pretty enlightening. And one of the takeaways that I noticed in this documentary, because each of these blue zones, I saw similarities throughout them. And one of them was a sense of community, a strong sense of community. So that's what we need to do. We need to surround ourselves with friends and to have a real sense of a really strong, loving community. So I've had to do this a few times over the years. The first time when I moved from Canada to the United States, it's a little easier when you have children. My son was only 8 at the time, so it's a little easier because you're involved with your children and their sports and their friends, parents, and so it makes it a little easier. And another time I had to start all over again was when we moved to LA. My son was going off to college. He went to Boston. We went to LA, so we were on opposite ends of the country, and I had homeschooled him and he was into theater, so I was very involved in all of that stuff. So I went from all of that to being in a city that I knew absolutely no one. My son was on the opposite end of the country, and my husband traveled all the time. So I knew I had to surround myself with friends. My family is all in Canada, so I was very alone, and it was hard. You have to push yourself out of your comfort zone because to me, being lonely, I knew was not an option. So it took me a lot of tries. Of course, my first thing is always joining the gym because that's what I love to do. So I want to meet like-minded people. Then I got very involved in the church. I did volunteering at the neighborhood retirement home. But although I knew people, I really wasn't connecting with anyone. I didn't have a sense of community. I didn't feel like there were people that had my back. I had acquaintances, but I really didn't have friends. So I kept trying and trying. I do not give up. So I finally hit the jackpot when I started to get into running. So I started joining run clubs, and that's where I found it. That is where the magic started, and that is where I built friendships that I will have for the rest of my life. Then, a couple of years ago, we moved to Dallas, Texas, and that's where we are now. So that's very fresh in my mind because that just happened recently. Again, I had to start all over again. It was a lot easier this time. So it just depends on whether you hit the right thing right away or it takes you a while. Again, the first thing I did was I joined the gym. I joined the Equinox, which was just around the corner. But we live downtown Dallas, so it's a very urban area and the demographic was very young and there was really no one that I connected with. There were 2 ladies and we sort of huddled together because we were all kind of in the same age bracket. And one of them told me that she was leaving Equinox and she was going to the Y. And I thought, working out is like my favorite thing to do. I don't want to do it at the Y, but she told me to just give it a try. So that's kind of what you got to do. Even if something doesn't seem quite like something you would want to do, try it anyways. I figured the worst thing that happens is I don't like it. It was a no-brainer. It felt like home. I made so many friends instantly, and from there, like right now, like my dearest, best friends are ones that I met at the Y. So I took a chance. I did something that I did not think I would like, and I ended up loving it. So that's kind of to say, take a chance on things. Try things you might not think you want to do. And then the other lady back in Equinox, because I knew I wasn't going to go back to Equinox anymore. I was going to end my membership there and just go to the Y. So I kind of had connected with her a little bit, but just chatting, during classes. And that's the other thing. If you join a gym, you got to do the classes. That's where you meet people. So when I knew I wasn't going to be going back to Equinox, I said to her, do you like going for walks? I love walking. And she said, I do. So we exchanged numbers and we started walking, and now we are dear friends. So you need to put yourself out there. I always say it's kind of like dating. So you got to look around and see, who do I think would be a match for me? And then you got to just take a deep breath, understand you might get rejected, and just go up and say, hey, you want to go get coffee with me? I don't drink coffee, but I like doing walks. I think walking is a great social activity. People are always like, let's go for lunch, let's go get a coffee. I say, let's go for a walk, because you get to chat and you get to be outside and you get to get a little exercise. So start by just joining things. Find things that are interesting to you, pottery classes, art classes, whatever kind of catches your eye, go down a list of things and join them. Maybe it's gonna be a miss, maybe it's not. Maybe you'll just make one friend. Equinox, I only made one friend, but she's a great friend. You gotta try different things. Push yourself, get out of your comfort zone. Maybe you're someone who has lived in the same place since you're a kid. All your family's around you, you have children, you have grandchildren, and that's a great sense of community too. So that's really nice. But it's also good to have friends and not just rely on your family and just to rely on your children for your happiness. You should be able to create your own happiness outside of your children and your grandchildren. So getting yourself out there, pushing yourself to make new friends. The friends you've had for 30 years are amazing. They're always going to be your friend. But it's just kind of interesting to meet new people, to try new things. So it's really a great idea, even if you don't feel you need it, because you're surrounded by family and friends, and there's no need for you to do it. You're comfortable. You feel settled. I say push yourself out of your comfort zone anyway. It's always good to mix things up a little bit and try things that are a little difficult. So somebody asked me if I wanted to join a Mahjong group. I didn't even think about it. I'm just like, yeah, absolutely. Because I'm like that. I'm like, I don't know what Mahjong is. I don't know how hard it is. I'm just assuming, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. So right away, I start researching, what is Mahjong? It's pretty complicated, but that's good, because then I start working my brain. I'm trying something new. I'm trying something different. And then another new thing that I just picked up was pickleball. That's another thing that has some rules that you got to study and learn, but it's a good way too to get out and get physically active and to work your brain, because you got to learn all these new rules about pickleball, and it's making you uncomfortable, and that's good. Ladies, it's good to be uncomfortable. If we're too set in our ways and too comfortable with our cushy little lives, I say make yourself uncomfortable. So before I left LA, we were deep in the pandemic and we were all going stir crazy. And there was just a little core group of us that would get together in each other's backyards. So we decided to put together a little club called Chat and Chew. So what we would do was we would meet at somebody's house and they would prepare the dinner and we would just sit and chat and chew. But then I left. And when I left, I thought, okay, maybe Chat and Chew, the LA chapter, maybe I'll have a Chat and Chew, the Dallas chapter. But it's 2 years later and I have not done that. But I've just started talking about it again, that I really do want to do this and I want to start it in the new year. So I want to make it so that we do have like a small core group that organizes it. But I want it to be something that's open to people maybe that are just moving into the neighborhood, people that we see maybe are lonely and want to make some friends. I want it to be a group where people are welcome And every month, doesn't matter who comes, new people can come, the old people can come, but we all just get together and it's a social group where we just are there for each other, chatting and chewing and just building friendships. So that is my project for the new year. These are our best years, ladies. So embrace it. Jump in and live life to the fullest. Try new things, do something adventurous, go travel somewhere fabulous, do something amazing, and then let me know. I wanna know, what crazy, amazing thing do you plan on doing? Leave it in the comments. Don't wait around for someone to befriend you. Befriend them. Don't wait around for things to happen. Make things happen. I'm so glad you guys are my friends. I just feel like such a sense of community here, and I love, love, love all of you. So thank you for being here, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.